may I select to be praised to whom all praise our due is to it. And may I select to be praised to whom all praise our due is to Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated Women Auxiliary presents Empress Sadi Gomez.
Greetings, greetings. This is Sadi Gomez of Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, Local 26 Women's Auxiliary, coming to you live and alive. And I must say, I would love to have the same enthusiasm as my opening artist that brings on that Sadie Sundays. Once he says it, we know we gotta go, we gotta be with the flow, we gotta have high energy. So I want to thank each and every one who came out to the show this evening, who's early. I know some of us will be a little late, but it's family hour. We on, we're ready to go. So what we're gonna do today, I should just remind my listening audience, the ones that are in-house, and of course the 1 million listening audience in in the clouds. I want to remind that we have a rug and things that are normally slip under the rug. We gently take them out on the Sundays, we examine them, and we sometimes put them back. But these days, I think people found out about the rug because I'm not pulling much from under the rug these days because, stuff is kind of in the open and waiting to happen. I'm not sure which direction we're going to go in, but any direction we go in is for entertainment purposes only and sometimes very informative purposes. So this evening we have with us our regular family. Charlie's here as engineering. He's multitasking. He's from far in the wings. We do have another important guest with us at our family, and that will be Big Papa, who normally comes on for the last 7 years. We this is it's not our first rodeo, people. So we've been going at it for 7 years and counting, and we really like to put on a show at times. Sometimes we just rock back and examine, look at things, because sometimes it's a bit premature for certain information because the shackles we drop on this side of town, we really like to have it in a timely fashion so nobody gets, a heartburn, sort of. So we want to gently give you all the information that we know about, but of course, sometimes we have to just give you a teaspoon, just like medicine that your parents give you, because a full cup is really, really too much. So, for all those who are with us, all those who are happy in heart, who are glad in heart, or who are even sad in heart, we like to say for those who have found the love or lost the love they had, we just want to greet each and every one with love this evening as we bring to you the happenings. It is, in fact, Labor Day weekend, and for those of us who are of West Indian heritage, we know the importance of going to Eastern Parkway and dancing and dancing and dancing. We're hoping for those who are there to have a really happy and safe Labor Day. We pray for the revelers that they too will be safe because once upon a time it was me out there. I'm not saying I do not go, but not to that extent. And this year I was going to dance one queen until some people spooked me and said, "Oh, Sadie, come on, I don't think you should do it, blase, blase." I don't know how they started protecting me like a porcelain doll. I'm like, oh my gosh, should I like this or hate this? But here I am. I don't think I'm doing it again, but who knows? Maybe next year. But all the same, we want to welcome each and everyone to the show. And of course, we want to just talk about the happenings. Everyone watch the news and view it differently. It's been quite unfortunate for me, or maybe fortunate for me. I have not really been watching the news because I like some kind of other news that are real news and not the hypocritical moments they put on for journalists to have their salaries. I really like to get down to with the news. And for these days, we cannot so much, but we will just accept the things that we are seeing right now. So I want to welcome Big Papa to the show. What you want to talk about today, Big Papa? You live.
I mean, there's so much stuff going on. I would say that the president is doing many things, and one of the major things that he's doing, he wants to eliminate black college universities um, from the system at all. And so um, he's segregating. He also wanted to segregate the federal bathrooms. He wanted to do a what do you call it? He wanted to do a black bathroom, white bathroom type of thing, segregation. Um, he's trying to eliminate the schools. So I think what he's doing is he's dividing the country, which could work in our favor because um, we've been trying to from the beginning of the Emancipation uh, Proclamation, 1865. They requested that they have a separate government, something that's not talked about. That's why we had a flag, and uh, I think with this whole system that he's putting together now, where he's segregating everything, he's separating everything. So I think the possibilities is that we might end up with, like Patrick Moynihan said back in the late 50s, one country with two societies, or maybe two countries in one. you know. So I think that we're heading in that direction. Um, I know that once the what you call these, once the Democrats get back, then things go back to normal, you know, or they put things back into order like they was. And so, we go out of order and back into order. And so we can look forward to that. Um, the country is just in uphill right now. Things are being turned upside down. The system is being um, abused tremendously. The departments in the government is being used for his personal vendettas. He's going after everybody. He fired Miss Cook, the governor of the Treasury Department, and you know, he's just turning things upside down. And maybe at the same time as he's turning things upside down, he's revealing uh, what is really under the rug as we pull things from under the rug in Sadie Sundays. Maybe we are pulling up under the rug the real agenda of the United States and where we're really headed as a country. So, um, definitely a lot of things are happening. A lot of things. A lot of things being revealed. A lot of people are being displaced. A lot of departments are being canceled. A lot of people are being fired or they have to voluntarily quit or they're being pushed to quit A lot of people prefer to quit rather than be fired because it looks better on their resume. So yeah, America's coming to a what? In the final analysis, America's coming to its truce. You know, um, I knew that this whole thing could not last forever, and it couldn't go on forever. And so now we're at the point now where we're coming to the final analysis. Either we're going to unify the country and pull it together, or we're going to separate the country itself and, you know, end up in this turmoil. And so I think it's decision-making time. I think it's a time that the citizens of the United States are going to have to step up and, you know, drive government to some kind of end. You know, they had that parade, a march, if you will, concerning February the 5th, concerning no King's Day, because he's behaving like a king, a dictator, and anything else, you know, that he wants to be. And so we're at the point now we have to come to a conclusion of how we're going to operate as a country, how we're going to go forward. And so I think that's where we're at. You know, what is really good.
What do you think the objective is that he's trying to bring about? Maybe the unspoken objective. What do you think that this administration really wants to see in America? I mean, because the rumors are that after he do this and after he that, all of this is setting up for him to come after black people. That's what's being said in some of the circles.
Yeah. I think that the country is bursting at the seams because we've been living under this fallacy that we're this melting pot that we're really not. And either you're going to be a melting pot or you're not going to be a melting pot, but you can't be both at the one time. Like the Bible said, you can't serve two masters at one time. You're going to hate one, you're going to love the other one. But the Bible said you're always going to be confused about your relationship with both. And so I think we Americans, the American government is at the point right now is going to have to make up its mind whether it's going to be a two-tier government, a single-tier government, but we're going to be actually United States or the divided states. You can't have it both ways. And so Mr. Man, all he's doing is bringing the stuff from under the rug. He's revealing all the stuff that's been going on in this country for years, and we've been pretending that we're this democracy, we're this melting pot, when in actuality we're not. There's a lot of stuff that we have to deal with, and I think all he is doing, he's pondering and tittering and supporting supremacy, separation, segregationists, and supremacy. That you have that right-winged conservative evangelical movement that's behind all of this, as quiet as it kept, Farwell, and all those evangelicals. They've been for years under the auspices of religion, trying to control the United States and trying to keep the power through religion. But it's all connected to the same thing. It's all the same ideology. And so I think those things, is bursting at the seams, is coming apart, and is at the point now where we have to make a decision whether we're going to be united, we're going to be separate. They're going to do their thing, we're going to do our thing, or we're going to do something together. But at some point, we got to figure out how we're going to move forward. And so I think it's all a part of something been going on for years. The intentions was never to free us. The intentions were never for us to participate in, for far as what I can see, the underlying people, that they never had intentions for us to integrate into the society itself after the Emancipation Proclamation. That was
They
like,
never
oh,
anticipated we would be able to do the things that what we've done. But I think the sad part about it is they missed the point that what we do is not new, because we had a government before they white behinds ever showed up. There were black presidents before we ever had these presidents that we acknowledge now. We were already part of the Senate. We was already part of Congress, and we were already part of all of these things. You are absolutely right. And they figured that they can continue to keep slavery going through the prison system. They never intended, all right, for us to be equal. They never intended for us to succeed. In fact, to this day, when we succeed, they still get upset. You know,
correct.
anytime they see us with something, they can't bear, they can't take it. That's why you have stories about a Black Wall Street. That's why you have stories about Greenwood and Tulsa and all of these things.
Exactly.
We take
And
it.
when you talk about the people in the states, the statesmen, the people that went to government at that time, I think that they thought they could control them, use them for their purpose. And when they found out that wasn't the case, that's when all the turmoil happened, and they started to threaten their lives. We had 2,000 statesmen at that time. They called them, instead of congressmen and senators, they called them statesmen that were in the government. 2,000,
Right.
and
Right.
all of them was threatened. Some of them was unalived, but all of them was threatened. Their family was threatened. A lot of them had to run for their lives to other places to get out the government. And so when they found out they couldn't control them, they result, like they always do, to violence. And so as we can see it, there was never no intentions for us to participate in the government as it stands right now. I'm not saying everybody. I'm not saying all Americans feel that same way, but I think there's a good portion of people that feel that way. And I think most of the people that's in power, whether it's government power, working in government officials, or whether it's just financial power, people that control the wealth in America, I think that their intentions for us was not for us to really participate fully in this government as full capacity of a citizen or a government official. It just awkward. You can see that everything that we do is awkward. And when I say awkward, I mean in the sense of how laws are passed on our behalf, how we fight for justice, how we fight for economic stability, political existence. When you look at the American Black Foundation of Black Americans, is always different for us. It's a different way that they receive us. As if you look at people who immigrate here, other blacks that immigrate to America, and the way they're received and how they're easily how you call it, enter into the society itself, because immigration is set up for that kind of a system where you can integrate into the system through foreign policy, domestic policy. There's nothing there for the American Black person. So you can see the difference, and how you adjust to the society itself, and how the society receives you, and how the government implements its laws, its policies, its procedures around a group of people, as opposed to people that come in. The immigration system is set up for them to come in, so everything is just like set up properly, if you will, as opposed to those of us who've been here all this time and dealing with this nonsense.
Right. And I mean, and despite of that, we have excelled beyond their furthest imagination. Right? they never expected for us to be able to do the things that we were able to do. I mean, I believe that they understood that they needed to keep us suppressed because there was a divinity about us that had a spiritual connection that allowed us to be able to do things that they just could not do. Even till this day, anything you put us at, anything you let us do, we do it better than they've ever done. Anytime you let us in a certain area of sports, whether it's basketball, whether it's tennis, where it could be ping pong. You wait till we start playing hockey again, because what people don't know is that we originated in hockey. But you wait till we start playing it again, and we show you what black ice really look like. So anything that we put our hands to do, we excel at it because of the divinity within our DNA. I think that as a people, we need to accept that this is who we are, and that we do have this power within, and that we are not less than, and that we are greater than, and stand up and walk in it. And don't be afraid of it. Don't be ashamed of it. Don't be afraid of some white person being uncomfortable because you're comfortable with yourself. You know, to
it's
me,
like a group of people moving into an apartment, right? Let's say 5 people moving into an apartment, but the apartment is really only set up for 4, and so that fifth person is awkward. You don't know where to put that person. You can't put them in the kitchen. You can't put them in the bathroom. Maybe you can put them in the basement. Maybe there might be a cellar. But I'm saying that fifth person is always going to be awkward because the apartment wasn't designed for 5 people. It was designed for 4 people. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
Somebody always gonna be sleeping in the living room.
Exactly. But that fifth person is awkward. They were never scheduled in. Nobody never decided where they were going to go. They just there. And I think that's the situation with the American blacks. Foundational Black Americans. We are not. There was no scheduling for us to be in anything. We here. We move forward. But as far as the government that's placing us into a position, they never had. First of all, I don't think they never had no intentions, actually, of us, going as far as we went, and they don't know how to deal with it. Whether it's from the what they call it, the liberal side or the conservative side, each side just didn't know, how should we fit in. Where should we be? How should we be treated? I think that's part of it as well. I know it sounds crazy, but to me, that's what it seems like.
I mean, that's what it is. Think about it. We are the only people where there was laws written and put on the books to keep us suppressed, to keep us down, and
I see the other people off.
and it didn't help. We've lived and we've survived Jim Crow. We've lived and we've survived the black laws. We've lived and we've survived segregation and all of these things. And we've made it through despite of what they've said and despite of their intentions. It has never affected us or held us back. We've continued to move forward. Our problem is because they understand, let's say, for lack of a better term, manifestation. They understand how to move crowds. And so what they've done was, when I think about what they did with the music and how they made it okay, in advertising, when you hear something over and over and over, it sticks with you. Marketers know that. Okay, people that's in advertising know that, right? So if you're listening to music and all the music you listening to is talking about killing niggas, shooting niggas, shooting a fade, pulling up, da 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 da, then you become immune to it and becomes second nature and becomes something that's not all out of the ordinary. It becomes something that's part of the ordinary and something that's expected to do, and it's not a big deal if you do it. So we've been brainwashed into believing certain things to kind of help keep us suppressed. But I think that what we are experiencing now, we are experiencing their panic. The laws being taken off the books is their panic. Blacks being moved from the military is their panic. Information about slavery and black success move out of the Smithsonian is their panic. They're the ones that's panicking now because they see their demise is coming very soon. And they see that after a while, they're not even going to be here because they have a degenerate gene and they can't make any more of them. And any time that they make one, if it's interracial, they lose that gene and that person is gone. That's what the removing of Roe v. Wade is about. That's not about black women having abortion, not having abortion. That was for white women, okay? Because they trying to make sure they get all and keep all the white babies that they can get. So it's not even about what we're trying to do. It's about preserving their race, not ours.
There's an interview that was in South Africa. I may have mentioned this before, but it's happening more frequently. Interview in South Africa, and I heard it again in some other parts of Africa with white women, and the interviewer says, "Well, listen, do you have a problem marrying a black man?" The white woman says, "No, to preserve my race," talking about melanin. You know, if my baby has melanin, she'll survive longer, or he'll survive longer. And I took that. I said, "Wow, that was a smart call on her because she knows the difference." The other something else, as I said, maybe I'm being redundant, but when I look at the Bible and I'm meditating or what have you, there's some words that come to me about us. And after he says, "Didn't I say that you are gods and sons of the Most High?" The Most High also said, "Do you remember when you were my delight?" Well, how is he asking us to remember something? He's causing us to come to memory of when we were with him, and so on. And we have to come into remembrance of who we are, how we got here, why we're here, and we continuously push up and create wealth for these people. Even today, the inventions and the intellect, technical, spiritual, what have you, is awesome in this country. And then coming from Africa, it's like they're pulling, these young men and women are pulling things out of the air. No, it's not out of the air. It's out of the Spirit of God. And we're remembering things. We don't know
I
that
think
we remember.
I can be back. Brother Ron,
Okay, yes.
if you all can hear me, I just want to welcome each and every one today. I think I drop off a minute. I want to welcome Donna Gomez to the show. Hi, Miss Donna Gomez. And of
How are you?
course, my big brother Ronnie, I'm just thank you very much for the remembrance of our creator, our spiritual self. Before I go back to when Big Papa was talking and we're talking about government. But if I do remember carefully, the American president really run the country. And a lot
Yeah,
of
we got
time I realized every president is
a big
placed
reverb.
and
We got a
selected
big
for a
reverb.
period for a certain agenda he has to fulfill. I think we all know that by now. So when we examine the things that are happening now, it's not a person putting things in place, but merely an agenda to be fulfilled for this given period. And when this period and this agenda has been fulfilled, as chaotic as it may seem, is a reason for this because Mr. Trump is here to introduce us to something that is coming. So, really, if we think this is crazy, you don't see crazy until 2027. 2026, we're just about to tap into it, but we ain't see crazy yet. So, actually, this agenda has to be gently ushered in, and they are using the right person to do so, because in all things they have the right people to put in place. Just as Obama was there for the gay agenda and for the gay marriages. We wake up one morning and realize two men can get married. When was that bill passed? In the middle of the night. Yes, Ronnie, I see your hands are crazy. Let's hear you.
You know, it's true. What are we going to with all of this? Even though they hate us and they want to separate us, uh, who's going to do the work? Who's going to be the creators? Because that's who we are, creators, and so on. I remember that Obama had, and I don't know if this is totally true, but I remember when I heard it, prisons on wheels. You know, this was under his administration, or someone said that under his administration. Um, one There's so many projects going on with prisons, like the Innocence Project and some other projects to free set the captives free, so to speak. These brothers and sisters coming out of prison are brilliant. They've had time to sit and look in the mirror, if they have one, at themselves and study the Word, study the Quran, study science, study law. All right, and some are becoming lawyers. So no matter what we do or where we are, we're going to always be a threat to these people, but they can't do anything without us. So where does that lead us? In the early 1900s, late 1800s, in Illinois, there was a march because white folks burnt down another town, and there was a march, and the people were saying, we own 250,000 acres of land. All right, and that's what they brought to court. We supply the oil company, or the roughnecks with oil. When white people couldn't get finance through their own people for oil, we financed them. We were the first oil merchants dealing with Middle East, what they call Middle East and Northeast Africa. Right? They don't put that. They don't say that. All right, and I do my best, and I'm sometimes annoying because I'm texting and sending information all the time. But I'll continue to be annoying. It's
Well, what I can see happening is, Ronnie, it's a really a new day dawning
Yes.
for the whole world really to see, because there's no time to turn back now. As you know, we have our artists saying no turn back. We
Hmm.
have to push on forward, because we see the white man for who he really is. We see the agenda that they have set out for us. But what we have to do, we have to go way past that, just totally bypass it in order to move forward and succeed as a people within the collective. There are some of us cannot see the vision. We have to lose some. But for the
Hmm.
80% of us who can move forward, knowing that it's designed to hold us back, we have to do so. And I know we have the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated that allows us to be, we, the Black people of the world, to be under that umbrella and to successfully, monitor what we have and to preserve it, to build it, to make it grow. Because at the end of the day, that's all we really have when we think about what's happening here and now. This agenda with Mr. Trump, it's for segregation purposes, and we wonder if it's a good thing or a bad thing. In most cases, it could be a very good thing for us, because really we don't need them, they need us. But we were made to believe in disguise that we need them. No, we don't, because we are self sufficient and we can do almost everything on our own. Well, not everything on our own. So, this sort of division and segregation that is seemingly coming, because there's a quietness right now happening. And sometimes in the quietness, there's a lot to be heard. So we are watching, and we are, as the game is being played, we are really looking on. and we are observing all things. So I want to welcome each and
It's the
everyone to
quietness.
this evening
There's quiet
as
inside the
we
Tokyo. You know, the
this.
quietness is inside the dwelling. You know, and so on. We have never not going forward. All right, we were forced to move forward at every step of our life here. Okay, that's that's things that some people don't understand, and and we move forward enough so people can come here and seek
Yeah,
the dream of
right.
prosperity. You know, prosperity.
Okay.
But there's many people. There are other organizations, many who are on the same train, trying to do the same thing, and so on. So when we talk about the black people of the world, we're talking about all the black people in the world. I just got off the phone with someone who they're millionaires, you know, and they have their agenda, and their agenda is the same as ours. Black people of the world create businesses, create incomes, hire a room, buy land, buy real estate, you know, and so on. And I'm thinking now, what does that mean for us to continue to do that step, which we grow wealth? They're jealous of us growing wealth. That's why they burnt down our towns. That's why they flooded our towns. That's why they
They,
raped and
they
pillaged
try to
people.
keep us down in all forms, Ronnie, because the burning down of our tongues is a way to derail us, throw us off. But the thing about it, what I see with the white man, and he cannot reach us, he cannot harm the spirit because the black people are so resilient. And as I spoke of resilience, I want to welcome one of our favorites to the show. First, you are sitting all quiet, but I didn't mention you with the not to a show. And of course, I did welcome my sister and to the show. My sister, half your hairstyle, start for fame, didn't even know you were Donna Gomez. I'm looking to see you look like one of the ones. So, welcome and have a wonderful evening. So, Chris, you want to share with us one thing this evening? We're just having a conversation about what's going on because everyone seems to have an opinion, but there's some things that are really going on, and we have to kind of sniff it out. We are the ones who go under the rug. So, welcome to the show, First Vice. How are you feeling this evening?
Greetings and blessing, my brethren and sisters. Enough love and respect. I'm feeling good, giving thanks for life. Yes, a lot of things is happening, and we, the black people of the world, need to unite, come together, and support each other. That is the thing. No matter what the wicked or the demons are doing, we have to stay together, stick together, support one another, be more loving and kinding and caring to each other. God, this is the way we're going to defeat them. We cannot do it apart. We have to be together. Because remember, the white man weapon is to divide. When we are divided, we are weak. But when we are together, we are strong. So we must remember that. Their intention is to get us apart, right? And when we are apart, you know what happens. We suffer. You understand? And that's how they want to keep us. So we have to remember that we have to support each other, be here for each other, be more self-reliant and self-sufficient, and create everything black. Believe me, we need
Well
everything
said.
black.
Well said, Peach Shiloh, as you go along, because what we see really, as a black person, we have a kind of love in our heart, a natural love. We are loving people, as opposed to the white man who has no feelings. So, really and truly, if we are left alone, we know how to love each other, care for each other, and look out for each other. As the Bible tells us, are you a brother's keeper? Yes, we are our brother's keeper. Because I saw something on the bus this week, and it filled my heart with joy. And really, really, they are jealous of us. This is what I saw on the bus. There was a young man on the bus, probably about 19 to 20-year-old. he was standing there close to where I was sitting, and the bus stop, and another young man came into the bus, and I saw the way the two brothers look at each other, and eventually they couldn't even help it. They ran to each other arms and gave each other a big hug and a pat in the back. But before they did that, I saw how they watch each other, they watched the space, and then they just started to walk towards each other. And that was just like no words, no language. I mean, what could you have said to describe this moment? So precious, because I like the small details of life. I am in for details. And I watched the moment, and I saw the two brothers just gravitate towards each other, and they did that in a really deep sort of way, like that one, and those were ordinary black young men. In a different scenery, you would see where they would show on TV or in a public place two black men killing each other, shooting each other, hating each other. I am saying, and I'm telling you, with my eyes, I'm observing that is not true. We as a black people, we love each other simply because we are so connected, even if we don't know. You bleed, I bleed, but when one black man get cut, we all bleed. And I'm seriously telling you, it's different for other nations, but for us, we are very well connected. I'm saying we were the kind of women who look after each other's children while the other woman go to the market. It was something natural in us to do so. We are naturally built that way. We are being thrown off into the white world, into that fake world where love doesn't exist. It's not true. We naturally have a loving feeling inside us. When we do good, we feel nice and warm and fuzzy inside. That's the black experience. The white people are not built that way. We cannot imagine them to be that way. We cannot force them to be that way. They are simply not that way. Okay, so the floor is open. I'm going to shut my mic so we don't um bounce. Let's hear everyone. Who we have? Who's going to chime in?
Well, I always have something to say, but that is
Well,
that
Ronnie, of
is
course, with our Sundays, this is the time when we have our date going on, Ronnie. Don't let the others find out. I'm just telling you.
listen. I'll keep it a secret. uh, I miss our dates, but we all, when we say black people in the world, we have to mean this. Um, I was listening to this sister on Black Kit or BLK Kit, and uh, um, near the end of her show, she was talking about my ox and and the 40 principles or affirmations, that Ten Commandments came out. And it was interesting in explaining each one. She didn't go through all of them, but explaining some of the ones, that she picked about love. All right, about taking care of your brother. I am my brother's keeper. Gossip, lies, and some other things that are in my heart. I want to get the book because I forgot what all of them were, and so on. But these things that were natural with us in Egypt before Christ, God was always there talking about our before Christianity. We believe in one God. We have it's a one God with many names or many natures. That was already in place in our African spirituality. And there's not that much difference between that and the Bible we read today, or more so an Ethiopian Bible. It's just that it's been taken over by someone else, by Rome. All right. And these religions, and I'm being specific about all religions, organized religions, are set in place to keep control of our money, control of everything. I remember one man saying, listen, these people are so good and so nice, and they give you everything, and we can steal from them. Why, if somebody gives you everything, hearts, and they're upside down just in case somebody came by, you know? And no one walked in my house without getting fed or having a bed overnight or what have you, you know, and so on. And these are the things that have been in us for thousands of years.
Yes, but the change
You know,
has come,
and we
and really and
forgot
truly, we have
again,
to accept
you know,
and move on with where we have reached as a people. I know we're going to lose some. We cannot bring everybody on board. Not everyone has the same
yes,
mindset. But in a collective, I see the Black nation
sound like a
having it
piano in the
different.
background.
There is a difference happening right
The
now.
charges, so we have to get back to that. Take care of the earth. Our earth, our bodies, our temples, you know, so, and the earth, that feeds us. That's the God that feeds us. The earth, wind, fire, these are things of God that we worshiped, and we still had one deity, one God, and so on. And I can't remember the name that we called him. There were two names that was called, and it was not Yahweh or Yeshua. You know, things
But
are real and important, but the line still carries. Even in the Bible, you'll see some of the connections, and then they take out things or add things to the Bible that that confuses us. And I still owe somebody a.
if you know the fusion, Ronnie, what I like to think about, I like to think about those quiet moments of meditation. Because what is really happening and what they really take away from us was the fact about prayer. Prayer and meditation is the highest vibration upon the earth. And what we do when we pray, we connect certain, magnetic fields, and we
Mhm.
actually balance the earth with peacefulness, with beauty, with grace, and with, you know, all the goodness of the earth. So
Yes.
prayer and meditation is what the wicked, evil Chaldeans of the earth was trying to remove, because Black people were the most sort of praying people upon the earth. We like
Yeah.
David, we pray 5 times a day. But in
Mhm.
so doing, that those quiet moments is where we bring the heavens upon the earth, and we exist with that peaceful vibration. So having taken away prayer and meditation from a Black person is really a damaging effect for us. So there are
Mhm.
small things that we can go back to knowing and understanding that it cannot take away from us, because we can still have quiet moments. Who can take that away from us? We fight to have quiet moments, and we make sure we stay within prayerful times, which that communication is a great communication that kept Black people alive. I mean, like the prayers of our ancestors is that keeping us alive today. So that we too have to know what it is that sustains a Black person. We are different from the others. They are not like us. Okay,
Mhm.
so welcome to the show. It's your Sunday show. It's Sadie Sundays of the Ethiopian World Federation Incorporated, Woman Auxiliary, Local 26, coming to you live and tonight. And thankful for the family day. We love to see each and everyone come out of their couches to visit us. Sometimes I am near and dear to some of my guests. Sometimes I'm far away. But we thank each and everyone who come out this evening. And Ronnie's fine mountains. Ronnie, we come up there in the spring. Okay, so make room for us. And of course, for each and everyone who knows us, we have a fun Sunday where we share the things we feel in our heart, we speak the truth, we share that type of moment. Okay, so Here we are, the floor is open. First Vice, you're very quiet this evening. You want to grace us with anything? What's been happening? Okay, it seems to be in the first Vice is far away from us. But we thank each and everyone who do come out. We want to stretch our show for a little longer period. There are times when we do have our artists on board. For we have a musical unit of Local 26. It's our real big showpiece as far as our musical artists. They are really showing up and showing off, and we are proud of Local 26 musical unit. They often comes on the Sadie Sunday show, which is their show as well, because we represent the woman's auxiliary of Local 26, and we collab a lot with the musical unit, and we have ourselves a really good time. Recently, we put on a concert. It was very successful because it was a case where the show had to go on. And we were happy with our musicians. Always a pleasure. I am not seeing today yet the yo. It's probably far away. Didn't chime in today. And did you get my link, First Vice, that you can invite the others? Well, I think First Vice is muted. He's probably in a far away place.
Oh, that artist
You
there,
know.
yes. I have to send back the link to her, Sandra Bling, so she could come on next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
so we would advertise for the come on for us next week. We have a new
Yes.
face, a new artist that will come and join us. So you can tell us a little more about her.
She will
All
definitely
right,
be on
so
next week.
all right, we welcome her. We're looking forward to seeing our new artist next week. It's always a case where we do promotion for culture, and we like our artists to show up because we never know who is going to be watching on, and they can have a break, so they can be making somebody successful as well within their production. So this Sunday, we it's Labor Day in Brooklyn. It's kind of Carnival Sunday, sort of. This is what most people are doing. At least the Caribbean people, they're out there with their costumes for getting ready for tomorrow, which is a big Caribbean American parade. So it's really where in Trinidad and Tobago we call it the Carnival. It's a real bacchanal. It used to be a case where I couldn't even miss it, but my life has changed a bit, and I just kind of stay on the sidelines. I look along, but I love the art because I'm still, in the fashion and in the art. I love to make myself a good mask and everything, but I'm in the background these days, just as taking part behind the scenes, sort of. But that's what's happening in Brooklyn, New York, and it's a good time to meet some of our friends from all over the world, Africa. And yesterday was a very good day. I met one young man from Ethiopia who I'm definitely going to have sign up by next week because we do the medicine back wherever we go. So that's a moment for me to be able to bring in one more sheep in the fold, which is what we do as well, because we are our membership drive and we're here as ambassadors for Ethiopia to tell everyone about the Ethiopian World Federation. It's our duty to spread the word of the Federation and the importance of we, the Black people of the world, having a place to fall under, to come and to be. So we do have a large organization. Sometimes I just be falling off. I took a small mini vacation. I don't know if there's aliens took me. Long time we haven't spoken about the aliens, but they're real. Maybe the time will come when they will speak for themselves. And I am not joking. It's just a matter of time before we see the strangeness manifest. Sometimes when I tell you all these things and it's so premature, it seems like we're going into fantasy island, but I don't go there. I don't live there. I don't hardly even visit. But some things are very strange and sinister that are going to come upon the earth. It will need a big explanation. And I know you all will remember this Sunday. You're going to be running like crazy, coming to me, help, asking to explain stuff. And I will just send you all back to this very show. I just want to prepare your little hearts to be strong for some of the things that are going to come upon the earth. Because man heart will fade for the things that are going to come upon the earth. And I am very perishable. Life is something. I always multitasking. Somebody's calling me in the middle of this program, unable to pick up. But I'm really happy and thankful for just life. Thankful that I'm having patience and waiting for many, many things. I'm learning the art of patience. Don't really have much, but all the same, I'm learning to have some. And for myself, I just want to be really thankful in all things because I have good health. I want to give thanks for that. Thankful for my good friends and my families that I have with me and be thankful for that. And of course, each and everyone knows that the year is winding down somehow, and we're going to have at least one more celebration for the year closes, which is local 26. We kind of like to party a little bit, so we're going to start to advertise early what we want to do. We want to do something in November to commemorate the coronation of Haile Selassie the First. We want to do something like that. So this will be a fun occasion just before we close this off for the year. So we want to have a little fun just before we close off. Maybe we're gonna run it live on the podcast. We want to have a sort of dinner concert. We have first vice have always musically inclined, put something together, and we cook some food and we do a family sort of closing up for the year. So that is something really interesting and fun that we can do, that we definitely like to do. So for this type of the evening, we have it short. Bruce, right, you are in a position to entertain us with songs? Are you?
Definitely. I could give you
Okay, so you
yes,
want me to give us something for the evening?
I,
Leave it in your hands and take the key of
yes,
our
I
business
could
at
do
this time.
something. Yes, yes. Yes, greetings and blessing. Well, I am Peter Shiloh, aka Majestical Town Original Kingston Spanish Town Countryman. And here is my composition for the evening. I don't wanna have to make you rise wooden stone to praise you, Lord. I don't wanna have to make you rise wooden stone away. I don't wanna have to make you rise wooden stone to praise you, Jah. I don't wanna have to make you rise wooden stone away. Burn out all carnal weaknesses. Burn out all impurities. Only let love comes from this heart of mine. Only let truth speak by these lips of mine. I don't want to have to make you rise wood and stone to praise you, Jah. I don't want to have to make you rise wood and stone away. Burn out all carnal weaknesses.
burn out all impurities. Only let love comes from this heart of mine. Only let truth speak by these lips of mine. I don't want to have to make you rise wood and stone to praise you, Lord. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Rastafari, bless the Lord.
We
Johnny C.
thank you so very much for this advice. You know, you're always here to deliver. Thank you
Yeah.
so very much. And we are going to run a short program this evening. Charlie, you know, sometimes we have a long one going on, sometimes a short one going on. But, you know, we really thankful for our guest, Miss Donna Gomez. We thank you for coming on all the way from Trinidad and Tobago. That you should visit us in our humble state.
Hey,
And you see one of your favorite artists just perform for you. You know, that
Donna.
song can make us, you know how we love our artists.
Yes, I know.
Right.
Shallow.
So we have fun on the Sundays, you know, we have Big Papa with us, we have Ronnie with us, and we simply have our artist, Peter Shiloh. So we're gonna round up this evening because we don't gonna do it too long for this evening. I'll be so happy for each and everyone that came on this evening. And we wanna say join us next Sunday at the same time while we can have a little more fun. And we thank Big Papa for his joining us. We thank Ronnie for
Yeah.
coming on. And usual Charlie, we thank you. Big, yeah. Big up
Man.
Trinidad. Big Papa
Big
said
up
big up
Trinidad.
Trinidad to
Big up Trinidad, man. Big up
Big up
Trinidad.
Donna. Big up Donna,
Black.
Donna.
Big up Shallow.
Trinidad in the house.
I'll bless.
Trinidad in the house.
Yeah. Thanks.
My Donna.
Okay.
Hi.
And may I say let God be praised to whom all praise our due is the Ethiopian World
Blessing.
Federation Incorporated Women Auxiliary presents Empress Sadi Gomez.